Biden administration ends solar tariff exemption. The Biden administration is ending a key exemption that allowed solar panel imports to evade tariffs. The administration is announcing on Thursday that it's ending an exemption to import tariffs for solar panels that are double-sided, noting that since the exception was implemented, nearly all solar panel imports have been two-sided. Next breaking news: anytime, anyplace, Biden and Trump agree to June and September debates. United States President Joe Biden and his Republican challenger Donald Trump have agreed to debates in June and September, as the rivals traded barbs on social media about the prospect of the showdowns. Next breaking news: Biden slaps new tariffs on Chinese imports, ratcheting trade war. President Joe Biden has slapped major new tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles, advanced batteries, solar cells, steel, aluminum and medical equipment, taking potshots at Donald Trump along the way as he embraced a strategy that's increasing friction between the world's two largest economies. Next breaking news: surgery patients face lower risks when their doctors are women. More research shows. A new study suggests that people undergoing certain surgeries may be safer at hospitals where women make up at least one-third of their surgical team, adding to an already growing pool of research suggesting female doctors may have better patient outcomes than their male peers. The latest study, published Wednesday in the British Journal of Surgery, looked specifically at the relationship between gender diversity in hospital settings and the incidence of serious post-operative health complications, including death, in Canadian surgical patients during their first 3 months of recovery. Next breaking news: TikTok scam promises popular weight loss drugs without a prescription. Weight loss drugs like Wegovy and Ozempic have exploded in popularity over the past couple of years, prompting a shortage. In the midst of the skyrocketing demand, scammers on social media have taken notice by offering to ship weight loss drugs for lower prices, and without a prescription. A joint investigation conducted from February through April by the non-profits Digital Citizens Alliance and Coalition for a Safer Web examined dozens of TikTok profiles offering to sell the prescription weight loss drugs at lower prices. In nearly every situation, the transaction turned out to be a scam. Next breaking news: Biden and Trump agreed to presidential debates on June 27 and September 10. Washington: President Biden and former President Donald Trump will go head-to-head in presidential debates on June 27 and September 10, with the two White House hopefuls accepting invitations from CNN and ABC News to participate in the events after a flurry of activity on Wednesday. Next breaking news: Jimmy Carter's grandson says he is coming to the end after more than a year in hospice care. Former President Carter's oldest grandson said Tuesday that his grandfather is coming to the end after spending more than a year in hospice care. Jason Carter, who also serves as chair of the Carter Center Board of Trustees, spoke about his grandparents at the 28th Rosalind Carter Georgia Mental Health Forum, noting it is the first such forum the center held since his grandmother, former First Lady Rosalind Carter, died in November at the age of 96. Next breaking news: North Carolina could ban face masks for medical reasons in public. The North Carolina State Senate voted along party lines Wednesday to ban anyone from wearing masks in public, even for health reasons. Republican supporters of the ban said it would help law enforcement crack down on protesters who wear masks. They say demonstrators are abusing COVID-19 pandemic-era practices to hide their identities following a wave of pro-Palestine protests nationwide and at North Carolina universities. Next breaking news: grocery prices fall for first time in a year. Grocery prices fell on the whole in April for the first time in 12 months, according to data released Wednesday by the Labor Department. Prices for food at home fell 0.2% in April, according to the Labor Department's Consumer Price Index, the closely watched inflation gauge. It was the first time food at home prices fell since April 2023 and followed several months of plateauing. Next breaking news: 5 revelations from Michael Cohen's Trump trial testimony. Michael Cohen, a star witness in the Manhattan District Attorney's hush money criminal case against former President Trump, has given perhaps the most damaging testimony yet against his former client. Next breaking news: Manchin, GOP senators move to overturn retirement investment planning rules. Joe Manchin and a group of Republican senators are moving to overturn a retirement investment planning rule that was finalized by the Labor Department last month. Next breaking news: U.S. prisoners are being assigned dangerous jobs. But what happens if they are hurt or killed? Phoenix, Blas Sanchez was nearing the end of a 20-year stretch in an Arizona prison when he was leased out to work at Hickman's Family Farms, which sells eggs that have ended up in the supply chains of huge companies like McDonald's, Target, and Albertsons. While assigned to a machine that turns chicken droppings into compost, his right leg got pulled into a chute with a large spiraling auger. Next breaking news: Biden's upcoming graduation speech roils Morehouse College, a center of black politics and culture, Atlanta. When he gives the commencement address at Morehouse College, President Joe Biden will have his most direct engagement with college students since the start of the Israel-Hamas war at a center of black politics and culture. Next breaking news: over 80,000 Illinois people banned from owning guns still keep them. Report shows Springfield, Illinois. In Illinois, 114,000 people are banned from owning guns because of legal tangles or mental health issues. 3/4 of them haven't surrendered their firearms, according to data the Cook County Sheriff will present Thursday. Next breaking news: U.S. police clear pro-Palestinian camp from California. University police in the United States have taken back a lecture hall from pro-Palestinian protesters who for hours occupied the building at the University of California, Irvine, and then cleared a student encampment that stood for more than 2 weeks. Next breaking news: California University will heed student call to boycott Israel institutions. Sonoma State University, a public school in Northern California, has said that it will not enter partnerships with Israeli universities, heeding a call from pro-Palestine student groups pushing to boycott Israeli companies and institutions amid the war in Gaza. Next breaking news: Biden administration plans to send $1 billion in military aid to Israel. Reports the Biden administration has told Congress that it plans to send a $1 billion package of military aid to Israel, according to media reports, despite the United States' opposition to a full-scale invasion of Rafah in southern Gaza and concerns about rising civilian deaths. Next breaking news: Melinda French Gates resigns as Gates Foundation co-chair. Gets $12.5 billion. Melinda French Gates has said she will step down as co-chair of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the nonprofit she and her ex-husband Bill Gates founded more than 20 years ago. "This is not a decision I came to lightly," French Gates posted on X on Monday. "I am immensely proud of the foundation that Bill and I built together and of the extraordinary work it is doing to address inequities around the world." Next breaking news: NBA playoffs. Celtics fight past Cavs to enter finals. Mavs beat Thunder. The Boston Celtics overpowered the Cleveland Cavaliers 113-98 to reach a third straight Eastern Conference Finals as Western Conference top seeds Oklahoma City moved to the brink of elimination after crashing 104-92 at home to Dallas. Jason Tatum's 25 points helped the Celtics subdue an injury-hit Cavs lineup to complete a 4-1 win in the best-of-7 series in Boston on Wednesday. Next breaking news: who benefits from U.S. tariffs on Chinese imports? Experts weigh in. The trade war between the United States and China continued this week with its latest salvo, a move that comes amid a heated race for the White House. On Tuesday, U.S. President Joe Biden announced tariff hikes on imports of various Chinese goods, worth $18 billion. Next breaking news: Rafah, U.S. arms, UNRWA, how Biden defends supporting Israel amid Gaza war. Washington, D.C. It's wrong, United States President Joe Biden said last week of the ongoing Israeli offensive against the southern Gaza city of Rafah, pledging to stop supplying offensive weapons if the assault proceeds. Next breaking news: another Biden administration staffer resigns over U.S. stance on Gaza war. Another staffer in United States President Joe Biden's administration has publicly resigned in protest of the U.S.'s continued support for Israel amid its war on Gaza, the Associated Press news agency reported. Next breaking news: U.S. sanctions 2 RSF commanders as fighting escalates in Sudan's Darfur. The United States has imposed sanctions against 2 commanders of Sudan's paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, as rights groups and the United Nations warn that deadly violence in the North Darfur region is escalating. Next breaking news: old friend Putin and China. Xi strengthens strategic ties at summit. Russian President Vladimir Putin and his Chinese counterpart, Xi Jinping, have signed a joint statement on deepening the comprehensive strategic partnership between their nations at a summit that framed their relationship as a stabilizing force in a chaotic world. Next breaking news: Republican chair investigating Chamber of Commerce in seismic case. Street shift. A decade ago, a Republican committee chair investigating Washington's biggest business advocacy organization would have been unthinkable. House Ways and Means Committee Chair Jason Smith has demanded the U.S. Chamber of Commerce answer questions about the more than $12 million its Chamber of Commerce Foundation received from the Tides Foundation, a left-leaning nonprofit, between 2018 and 2022. Next breaking news: Democrat rips Johnson over Trump trial. Stun on House floor. It is pathetic. Rep. Jim McGovern sharply criticized Speaker Mike Johnson on the House floor Wednesday after Johnson made an appearance at former President Trump's criminal hush money trial in Manhattan. Next breaking news, all three major stock indexes close at record highs as inflation slows down. Each of the major U.S. stock indexes closed Wednesday at record highs after new federal data showed inflation slowing down. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, S&P 500 and Nasdaq Composite all rallied Wednesday after the Labor Department reported inflation falling to a 3.4% annual rate in April after a 0.3% monthly increase in prices, according to the Consumer Price Index. Next breaking news, Pelosi says she would never recommend Biden debate Trump. Former Speaker Nancy Pelosi said in a Wednesday interview that she would never recommend President Biden share the debate stage with former President Trump, shortly after the two agreed to two debates before November's election. Next breaking news, how AI could make workers more productive but paid less. Worker productivity gains enabled by artificial intelligence are concentrated at the lower end of the skill and income spectrum, a phenomenon that economists and labor unions warn could supercharge the practice of outsourcing jobs to lower-paid regions of the globe. Next breaking news, why Native American tribes are banning Kristi Noem. South Dakota Gov. Kristi Noem has been banned by at least 6 of the 9 Native American tribes in her state as of Wednesday, after she made comments earlier this year the tribes say were offensive. Relations between the governor and the tribes have been strained since she took office in 2019, but her comments, including saying tribal leaders benefit from drug cartels, have caused the tribes to vote to ban her in recent months. Next breaking news, Romney says he would have pardoned Trump after indictments. Mitt Romney said he would have pardoned former President Trump if he had been in President Biden's position when federal indictments were brought against him. Next breaking news, Johnson defends decision to attend Trump trial, calling the case an atrocity. Speaker Mike Johnson defended his decision to attend former President Trump's hush money trial in New York earlier this week, calling the case an atrocity. In an interview with NBC News, Johnson said he rode in the car with the former president from Trump Tower to the Manhattan courthouse on Tuesday, where Trump sat before a judge for the 5th week of his criminal trial. Next breaking news, Slovakia PM Robert Fico in very serious condition after being shot. Slovakia's Prime Minister Robert Fico is stable, but his condition remains very serious, his deputy has said, after an assassination attempt that shocked the country and drew global condemnation. Fico, 59, was shot 5 times in the central town of Handlova on Wednesday after he left a government meeting. He was in critical condition and underwent several hours of emergency surgery. Next breaking news, Slovakia's PM Robert Fico shot, stable after surgery. What we know so far, Slovakian Prime Minister Robert Fico is in a stable condition after an emergency surgery, following a politically motivated assassination attempt on Wednesday, during which he was shot 5 times, a government minister said. The gunman, believed to be a 71-year-old writer, is in custody. No one else was injured in the attack. Next breaking news, rift in Israel war cabinet as defense chief opposes military rule in Gaza. Divisions within Israel's war cabinet over the lack of post-war plans for the Gaza Strip have erupted in a rare public row, with Defense Minister Yoav Gallant saying the country should not be involved in ruling the besieged and bombarded territory once the fighting ends. On Wednesday, Gallant said he was opposed to the Israeli military control or taking responsibility for the governance of Gaza. Next breaking news, Israel kills more than 500 Palestinians in the West Bank since October 7. Israelis have now killed at least 502 Palestinians in the occupied West Bank since October 7. The latest killings came on Thursday when 3 youths, Mohammed Youssef Nasser Allah, 27, Ayman Ahmed Mubarak, 26, and Hassam Ahmad Dibis, 22, were killed by Israeli forces raiding Tulkarm. Next breaking news, live, ICJ hears South Africa request over Israeli assault on Gaza's Rafah. The International Court of Justice is holding hearings to discuss a request by South Africa seeking additional emergency measures over Israel's offensive on Rafah, a city in southern Gaza where more than 1 million displaced Palestinians sought shelter from Israel's war. South Africa began presenting its public oral argument at the Hague-based court at 1300 hours Greenwich Mean Time. Israel is scheduled to provide its views on Friday at 8 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time. Next breaking news, jailed ex-PM Imran Khan appears before Pakistan top court by video link. Islamabad, Pakistan. Pakistan's jailed former Prime Minister Imran Khan has made a virtual appearance before the Supreme Court through a video link from prison in connection with a case regarding amendments to the country's anti-corruption law. Thursday's hearing was the first time Khan, imprisoned since August 2023 in several cases, made an appearance before the top court. Next breaking news: record-breaking India captain Sunil Chhetri to quit international football. India captain Sunil Chhetri says he will retire from international football, ending a record-breaking career for his country spanning 2 decades. Chhetri, the country's most prolific scorer, will retire after the World Cup qualifier against Kuwait on June 6, the 39-year-old announced on Thursday. Next breaking news: intolerable state of emergency in New Caledonia as unrest spreads. France has declared a state of emergency in its Pacific Islands territory of New Caledonia and deployed police and military reinforcements in an attempt to end days of unrest over the French government's move to change the rules on provincial elections. 3 indigenous Kanak people and a police officer have been killed in violence that erupted on Monday night and has continued despite an overnight curfew. Hundreds have been injured. Next breaking news: Israel's war on Gaza live. Residential buildings, ambulance hit in Jabalia. Heavy fighting continues in Jabalia, where Israeli forces have targeted residential buildings and an ambulance. Battles rage in Gaza's north with Palestinian groups targeting invading Israeli troops in small arms ambushes and with rocket fire and IEDs. Next breaking news: teen who vanished 26 years ago rescued from neighbor's cellar, just 200 yards from his home in Algeria. An Algerian man who had been missing for 26 years has been found in his neighbor's house, just a few minutes walk away, the country's justice ministry said this week. The man, only identified as Omar B., had vanished at the age of 19 during the Algerian Civil War in 1998, and his family assumed he had been kidnapped or killed. Next breaking news: drug overdose deaths are down in the U.S. for the first time since 2018. Drug overdose deaths decreased last year for the first time since 2018, according to data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The amount of drug deaths from drug overdoses decreased by 3 percentage points between 2022 and 2023. More than 107,000 overdose deaths were recorded during the same time period. Next breaking news: American Museum of Natural History curator accused of trying to smuggle 1,500 spider and scorpion samples out of Turkey. A curator at the American Museum of Natural History was detained in Istanbul on Monday while allegedly attempting to smuggle spider and scorpion samples, Turkish media reported. Lorenzo Prendini, an expert on arachnids at the New York-based museum, was held by police at Istanbul airport while allegedly trying to take about 1,500 samples out of the country, news outlets reported. Next breaking news: summer of 2023 was the hottest in 2,000 years in some parts of the world. Researchers say last summer's sweltering heat broke more than city or regional or even national records. In what they call an alarming finding, scientists say that in the Northern Hemisphere, the summer of 2023 was the hottest in 2,000 years. Global data already showed that last summer was the hottest on record. Copernicus, the European Union's climate change observation organization, made that determination, but a new study, published in Nature on Tuesday, looked even further back using both observed and reconstructed temperatures from centuries past. Next breaking news: diver exploring World War II-era shipwreck off Florida goes missing. A 39-year-old man went missing on Sunday after free diving near a World War II-era shipwreck, officials said. The Coast Guard and the St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office launched a search for Virgil Price after he failed to resurface from the area around the Halsey shipwreck, located about 13 miles southeast of Florida's Fort Pierce Inlet, authorities said. The area is about 130 miles north of Miami. Next breaking news: half of Amazon warehouse workers struggle to cover food, housing costs. Report finds roughly half of frontline warehouse workers at Amazon are having trouble making ends meet, a new report shows. The study comes 5 years after the online retailer raised minimum hourly wages to $15. 53% of workers said they experienced food insecurity in the previous 3 months, while 48% said they had trouble covering rent or housing costs over the same time period, according to a report from the Center for Urban Economic Development at the University of Illinois Chicago. Another 56% of warehouse workers who sort, pack and ship goods to customers said they weren't able to pay their bills in full. Next breaking news: Harris reports Beyoncé tickets from the singer as White House releases financial disclosures. The White House released the 2023 financial disclosures for both President Biden and Vice President Harris, including tickets to a Beyoncé concert that were given to the vice president from the pop star herself. Harris received tickets valued at $1,656 to a Beyoncé concert from the Single Ladies singer, according to her financial disclosure. Harris and her husband, second gentleman Doug Emhoff, attended the pop star's Renaissance World Tour in Maryland in August, although her financial report doesn't list the dates for the gifted concert tickets. Next breaking news: Supreme Court lets Louisiana use congressional map with new majority black district in 2024 elections. Washington, the Supreme Court on Wednesday said it will allow Louisiana to use for the 2024 elections a congressional map that includes a second district where the majority of voters are black, giving them the opportunity to elect their favored candidate. The justices granted two separate requests, one from a group of black voters and civil rights groups and the second from the state of Louisiana, to put on hold a decision from a three-judge federal district court panel that blocked Louisiana from using the newly redrawn map in any upcoming election. Next breaking news: McDonald's to launch $5 meal promo in effort to reinvigorate sales. McDonald's plans to launch a $5 meal promo in an effort to lure back customers scared away by recent price hikes to its menu. The limited-time offer is slated to begin June 25th and will last about a month, a source familiar with the promotion told CBS MoneyWatch on Wednesday. The value meal will include a choice of either a McChicken, a McDouble, or 4-piece chicken nuggets, as well as small fries and a small drink. Next breaking news: barge collides with Pelican Island Causeway in Texas, causing damage. An oil spill: a barge has collided with the Pelican Island Causeway in Galveston, Texas, damaging the bridge, closing the roadway to all vehicular traffic and causing an oil spill. The collision occurred at around 10 a.m. local time. Galveston officials said in a news release that there had been no reported injuries. Video footage obtained by CBS affiliate KHOU appears to show that part of the train trestle that runs along the bridge has collapsed. Next breaking news: new study may solve mystery about warm-blooded dinosaurs. Scientists once thought of dinosaurs as sluggish, cold-blooded creatures. Then research suggested that some could control their body temperature, but when and how that shift came about remained a mystery. Now, a new study estimates that the first warm-blooded dinosaurs may have roamed the Earth about 180 million years ago, about halfway through the creature's time on the planet. Next breaking news: Trump appeals gag order in New York hush money trial. Former President Donald Trump is seeking to have New York's highest court intervene in his fight over a gag order that has seen him fined $10,000 and threatened with jail for violating a ban on commenting about witnesses, jurors, and others connected to his hush money criminal trial. The former president's lawyers filed a notice of appeal Wednesday, a day after the state's mid-level appellate court refused his request to lift or modify the restrictions. The filing was listed on a court docket, but the document itself was sealed and not available. Next breaking news: U.S. military finishes installing offshore pier to provide aid to Gaza. The U.S. military on Thursday finished installing the pieces of a temporary pier that will be used to transport humanitarian aid into Gaza from the Mediterranean Sea, according to the U.S. Central Command. Next breaking news: inflation eases to 3.4% in boost for the Federal Reserve. The Consumer Price Index rose 3.4% in April on an annual basis, signaling a slight moderation after hotter-than-expected price hikes at year start. That was in line with a forecast for a 3.4% increase from economists polled by financial services company FactSet. It's also slightly cooler than March's 3.5% inflation bump. Next breaking news: GameStop, AMC shares tumble as the meme stock fervor fades. The shares of GameStop, AMC Entertainment, BlackBerry, and other companies embraced by retail traders plunged on Wednesday. After soaring more than 130% earlier this week, GameStop shares plunged $19 to $32.44 in Wednesday trading. AMC, a theater chain, shed 20%. Business software maker BlackBerry fell 6.4%, and Virgin Galactic, Richard Branson's spaceflight company, tumbled 17%. Next breaking news: Nissan data breach exposed social security numbers of thousands of employees. Nissan suffered a data breach last November in a ransomware attack that exposed the social security numbers of thousands of former and current employees, the Japanese automaker said Wednesday. Nissan's U.S.-based subsidiary, Nissan North America, detailed the cyber attack in a May 15 letter to affected individuals. In the letter, Nissan North America said a bad actor attacked a company virtual private network and demanded payment. Nissan did not indicate whether it paid the ransom. Next breaking news: Yastrzemski homers and Webb pitches. The Giants passed the Dodgers 4-1. Logan Webb pitched 6 scoreless innings and Mike Yastrzemski hit a 2-run homer as the San Francisco Giants beat the Los Angeles Dodgers 4-1 on Wednesday night to avoid a 3-game sweep. Webb limited Los Angeles to 3 hits, striking out 5 and walking 3 to help the Giants snap a 6-game losing streak against their longtime rivals. Next breaking news: cloudy Thursday weather with chance of light showers in Philadelphia. The weather is still a little cloudy and cool for this time of year in the Philadelphia region. We've been lucky to hit the 70-degree mark lately, but it looks like we will get there Thursday thanks to some breaks of sunshine here and there. Next breaking news: San Francisco bike community holds ride of silence for cyclists killed, injured in crashes. A ride of silence was held Wednesday night for those killed or injured while biking in San Francisco. Roughly 50 bikers took part in the ride, honoring victims along the way. A survivor of a horrific hit-and-run was there and went on the journey. Alex Tamez is embracing her second chance at life. Please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for getting latest update of United States, trending news and top stories about you.